Alright, let's get this started. Hey, Miss Kitty. You having some Pepsi? Drinking Diet Pepsi. Kitty drinking Diet Pepsi. Yo. Alright. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, no. I don't want to know LeetCode. Yes, I do. Alright. Oh, gosh. Is chat gonna show up? Might show up here in a second. Is this thing on? Oh, there it goes. Hey, we got chat up. Let's go. Really not that big. Okay. I think we're chilling. Alright. I think we're good to go here. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back into today's stream. Hope you're having a good day today so far. I'm kind of over these tunes. Let's go ahead and find some new tunes. Alright. Alright, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. I'm dead today. It's been a long day. I got up early this morning around 5:30, 6. I got out the door, got to work around 7. And then I was just going hard and heavy here. So I appreciate you guys being here, but we are going to be probably solving a LeetCode, maybe watching some videos and just hanging today. So let me know how the audio is, and let's go get into this one for today. All right. Okay, let's see here. We're gonna solve this one today. or try to at least. Anybody in here? Hello? Anybody there? Who's here? Yeah, I got like bad carpal tunnel, you guys. That gaming stream messed me up. Unless, I think it's bruised. It looks bruised. Yeah, I've got like carpal tunnel going on my wrist or something. All right, Darcel, here we go. We finally got someone in here. Woo, Darcel. Ashok, yo. Hey, we got two people in here. Welcome. Hey, Strive. Now roll call them up, everybody. Roll call them up. All right, let's get in here and let's try to solve this one. Yeah, you guys. What do you think? Let me go ahead and put my chat. Let me fix my chat really quick. Let me say width. Let's go. Let me do. Okay, that is a little better. All right, cool. Let's go get into this one. So today I'm gonna try to solve 3184. I just selected random. I just did the random button up here on LeetCode. So 3184, count pairs that form a complete day 1. Okay, so this is an easy rated problem. We'll see how that goes. Doesn't mean it'll be easy for us. Hopefully it is. Hey Diff, how you been? Awesome, dude. We've been teaching ourselves for a little over a year now. My name's Michael. For those that are new, a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist where I make biological controls. I manufacture them and formulate them. I teach myself how to code. I strive to do it every day. We've been pretty consistent thus far, with some days misses here and there. But yeah, I try to teach myself every day. Even if I don't stream, I usually do some sort of learning, whether it be reading on independently or a LeetCode problem or something independently or something. Some days I'm just burnt, guys. And today I'm burnt, but I hopped on. Okay, let's go over this guy here. Let's go over this guy. Carlos! Let's go, let's code. Awesome, dude. How's your reading been going? How has your reading been, Carlos? I started teaching myself a little over a year ago, about a year and a quarter. Year and a half maybe now. No, a year and a quarter. It's been quite the journey so far. We built some awesome projects. You can find them featured on my website, michaeldeming.com, where we build all our projects from scratch, teaching ourselves with various tools and doing them live here on stream, as well as doing various courses like Harvard CS50, MIT OpenCourseWare, and reading books like Introduction to Algorithms, Data Structures and Algorithms in Python, and the like. So hold on, let me close my door really quick. It's a little bit loud outside, the kids be playing. And let's try to see if we can solve this one. Okay, here we go. LeetCode mindset. I did a LeetCode, I don't know, it wasn't last night. I think it was 2 nights ago. I was able to solve one. I worked through it for about 30 or 45 minutes. So it felt good to do that one off stream. So let's try to do one on stream here. No promises, you guys. Let's go ahead and pull up problem 3184 if you want to do it alongside us here. Again, try not to provide any spoilers. I like to solve these pretty independently and really challenge myself. But if I need help, I won't be afraid to ask. But again, I will take hints and stuff if I need them. But again, like no spoilers, please. Thank you. Okay. 3184. Count pairs that form a complete day. Okay. So we're given an integer array of hours. So we have an array called hours, which represents times in hours, return an integer denoting the number of pairs I and j, where I is less than j, and hours at index I plus hours at index j forms a complete day. A complete day is defined as a time duration that is an exact multiple of 24 hours. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm thinking, okay, so obviously we wouldn't, the easy approach here is the brute force approach, where you loop through O of n squared times, right? Where you iterate on each value up through n up on its place, checking every value up until the end of array, doing repeated work, therefore. Now, could we potentially do it linearly by having some sort of data structures or some potentially index, some looping mechanism? So let's figure that out. Right off the bat, something that comes to my mind is that obviously we're going to be looping through an array of numbers. So I got like carpal tunnel in my fingers, in my hands. So sorry if this is going to be kind of rough. I'm going to try my best. Okay, so we have hours, right? So let's take the first array example. Okay. And an hour, or a complete day, is equal to we'll say, hold on, we'll say the sum of H1, H2, right, modulo 24 equals to 0, that is a complete day, right? So if it is exact multiple of 24 hours, it is a complete day. So as long as we can divide the sum of the 2 hour values together by 24 evenly and get a 0 remainder, this is a complete day, and that is a valid pair of indices, right? So, for example, if I'm thinking about that wrong, let me know. Hey, Austin, how's it going? All right. So hours here. So obviously we know the answer is 2 here. So in the first loop here, in the first pass, we're going to have I here and J here, obviously. I think we can use a scene right? Could we have like a scene set? Right? Where for pairs that we come across, we put them into the set and check upon the pair to get access to them. Now, if it's in scene, we don't need to do anything. We've already dealt with it. If it's not in scene, we haven't dealt with it yet, and we need to check if it needs to go, and we'll say valid is equal to a list, right? Or we could, instead of having a list, we could say, or we could have this also be a set. Scene total values and valid total value, right? Tuples, right? So no matter what, every pairing is going to go in scene. So we don't have to. So like 12 and 12 will go into scene. 12 and 30 will then also go into seen. So that when I goes to here and J is here, we don't repeat this action. I mean, is it super necessary? Am I overthinking it? So obviously you loop over. This creates 24, right? Which is a valid day. So seen would have 12, 12. And valid would also what if we, oh, so we actually don't need a valid set here, because as long as it's in seen, we can just set a counter here. Right, and then increment counter for when we have a valid pairing. Because we wouldn't want to, wait, is there duplicate pairing? Like, does it allow for duplicates? Like duplicate pairings? Anybody have any intuition on if it would allow for duplicates? Hey Agent, how's it going? Welcome in. I appreciate you so much for finding the channel. We're solving a 3184 here, trying to work through it. So, can you have duplicate, now you can't have duplicate indexes, right? But can you have duplicate hours? So maybe I check if it's valid, right? Maybe I check if it's valid, and I put the indice tuples in the valid set. Yeah, because, okay, so, yeah, I think so. So we would want to, we wouldn't want to, we don't need to have a scene here, because we aren't doing anything with duplicates, and we're not going to access duplicate indexes because we're only going to pass over them once. So then how could I indicate? Well, I would want to use a scene or something to save reference. No, I don't care if it's duplicate pairing. But I don't want to have to check each value greater than I at each pass. I don't want to have to check this guy, then all of these, then this guy, and against all of those. No, I like to just hit the random button. I think it's fun that way. Hey Michael, I've been following your journey for a while and have enrolled in CS50P and hopefully CS50X later on. Keep up the good work, you're very motivating. Hey, thanks Flacco. You're honest, that was very kind. I am blushing, got me smiling, ear to ear here. Thank you, that's so nice of you. I applaud you and, you know, teaching yourself, and it's definitely a hard thing we're doing here, and you know, we can do hard things and we can do them together. So thank you so much for joining me here, and welcome. You're awesome. If you guys are new here, my name is Michael. I'm 26. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company, and I've been teaching myself how to code after my 9-to-5 job for a little over a year now, documenting everything entirely on stream. We solved almost 100 problems so far, I think, in LeetCode. honestly, my studying habits though for them haven't been that great. I haven't been like really refining patterns, as I kind of been more just, yeah, I think I need to focus more on the pattern recognition aspects rather than just trying to solve the problem. So I don't want to, what's my goal here? So obviously I'm going to check here and check here. That's a valid pair. Now if I check, then I would check 12 against 30. Now once 12 goes against, now, right, I don't want to have to do a O of n squared, because I've already checked against this 12. Okay, so what if we, what is it? What's it called? Memoization? Right, so what if we save reference to seen numbers, and we know that this 12 is going to make a valid day with this. Well, in this case, this case, we know that we hit the 7, we hit the 7. Huh? Am I overthinking this? I don't know. Go on. So this plus this is going to make a valid day. We go to this, and so then we check the 12 against the 30. We check the 12 against the 24. And we check the 12 against should I try to solve it just with a nested for loop first to get a brute force out of the way and then try to optimize from there? But I mean, I feel like we know how to do that pretty easily. So my fingers are messed up, man. I don't know, man. I might have to, like, it's like bone on bone. 12, 12, 30, 24, 24. So then the 72 on this case, this would make a valid pair. Hey, Tim. What's your day-to-day like at your day job? Chemistry was my worst subject by far. What's your ultimate goal as a programmer? I don't know. Day-to-day, my day job on it, I do work in a wet lab. A large majority of my time is spent in an actual large lab, gowned up, building, formulating, doing all that jazz. And then it's about, I'd say, 70% lab work, 30% paperwork. Or no, I'd say 60% lab work, 20% testing, 20% paperwork. Maybe 30% paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork, right? Yeah. Ebola? No, not none of those infectious diseases in my lab. Those like real bad ones. I think that might be on site, but I don't personally work with those. The ones that I kind of work with are more of biological type things. I kind of mimic what like patients reflect in like settings. So like I made things that test positive for like pregnancies, and I made things that run hot for certain drug tests, or I've made synthetic spinal fluids. I've made like a lot of like base matrices that kind of encompass a wide suite of testing, points, you know, and whatnot. Yeah, so he kind of asked us, what's my overall goal as a programmer? So that kind of ties into what you said, Maniac. What am I learning to code is kind of, I don't know. Biotech has a pretty large bottleneck on kind of how far you can grow in terms um, of it, you know, monetary compensation, as well as, you know, contribution as like a scientist. At least in my current company and from other, you know, Fortune 500 type companies in biotech, once they become large enough like that, it's really kind of A, it's pretty hard to progress. B, it's hard to, you know, innovate and, you know, change because you have all these hoops to crawl through. Um, and then it's and then we have and stuff like, you know, and then a big factor of it does come down to like some, you know, monetary compensations, you know, especially, you know, for my role. This is like not like a harp, because I know people like are struggling to find work, but I do like, it's quite crazy how biotech kind of does underpay technically for like engineers. Like I guess I'm kind of more of like an engineer of a physical sense, in terms of, rather than like a formulation. It's kind of a combination, because I'm like actually engineering product, of like a physical product, and all that, and then formulating it and actually manufacturing it. So it's interesting. And so, like I said, I'm sorry, like I keep getting distracted. Just has a bottleneck. Like the funding is just really slow. It doesn't grow as fast. There's not a lot of investment, you know, growth as there is in tech, you know, and tech adjacent fields that correlate into chemistry, and biology. So I don't know. I kind of just, I don't know. I don't want to say reading like the writing on the wall, but I don't really want to go back to school for a doctorate in chemistry, because that just involves some really advanced chemistry. Um, yeah, TV Josh, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. It's I don't know why, dude. Like, but the thing is, it's not like you're not bringing in revenue. I mean, some biotech jobs, maybe like QC or like quality assurance, those like not directly, you know, like direct value add to, you know, producing product. Yes, it does add value to get product out the door and make sure it's satisfactory. But you know, the real skills in terms of like, you know, is manufacturing those advanced, like these advanced reagents, advanced controls, advanced, you know, tests, advanced whatever, kits. Like, these are like the real kind of, you know, medicine formulation. Like those are the real skills, and it seems like those are the people that are kind of like paid the least. And then this brings me to my other point. Sorry, we were kind of getting distracted from the LeetCode here, but this is a good kind of chat we're having. I feel like a lot of people are interested in this. Is that the progression? I am a very analytical, mathematical based, science based person. I can manage people. I can lead teams. I do lead, you know, junior science and junior chemists, you know, through products and teach them. But I do know my strengths, and I am best suited, you know, being able to just put my head down and grind and work and research and, you know, perform and you know, do the stream, like just, you know, put in hours and just, you know, keep just you know, output. And then it's just the more you go to chase that additional pay, unfortunately in biotech, is you have to be forced into middle management. There's like no way around it. Like it's really bizarre. Like, if I want to make more money, I have to give up being in the lab to basically just kind of be in meetings and talk about business metrics. Like, I didn't go to school to, yes, business is cool and whatnot, and like you definitely need business skills, and I do have some business skills with our small business we run, and you know, accounting backgrounds that I have and stuff from previous changed major. But I spent this money on this degree to be in the lab and to do that kind of stuff and to perform and build things and, use those skills not to, talk about AMR or like, for a company that I don't have actually any vest in personally. Biotech companies rarely grant you actual stock options too. Like it, and I kind of want to like, I think it would be really cool to build a tech product that you can actually feasibly use on a day-to-day basis. Like I do build products that a lot of people are very impacting, like patient-forward impact products, but it's very hard to get like that personal gratification out of it. You have to really seek it out and kind of like make it up, right? It's there, it's happening, but like, like what if you worked at like, Microsoft or like Google or these other companies or these even like smaller companies, and you were able to see like the physical features and products and stuff you worked on live, working and actually contributing to a user base. And I don't know, that's really interesting to me. That seems really quite fascinating that you're able to impact society on that large of a level, directly being able to see it. Let me get caught up on some chats here. Sorry, give me a second. Where is... Oh, shoot. Gonna have to go to my... Doesn't look like a social stream has a scroll bar in this, so if I miss a chat, I can't go back. That sucks. Let me go to my YouTube and go to the actual physical chat. Or let me bring in, hold on, the doc. OBS has the doc, right, for YouTube chat. There it is. Sweet. Okay, so let me catch up on some chats here. Carlos says, I'm with you, also feeling burnt. Yeah, me too, Carlos. It's tough out here. We got each other, though. Let's support each other. You and me, boy. Reading has been tough mostly because of the lack of time and other causes. I'm saying, yeah, dude, I feel you. Time it's tough finding time here. Awesome, Najin. That sounds cool. I see I'm studying civil engineering, but I'm passionate about computer science and also learn to code on my own time. I just like to learn about it and have for fun. That's really awesome, man. Bros after bread, here we go. Me too. It genuinely does sound like you contribute greatly to society and several processes as a whole. Oh yeah, we spend money to make money too. Yeah, my company I'm with now only has the option to move up and manage, and I don't want to. It's IT related, and I major for cyber. Used to drive truck, so I can appreciate a solid grind. Try and go for a form of engineering and get into design, or use your knowledge in code to get into make projects on your own time. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Moose Roof? Sentil, how's it going? Awesome. All right, we're caught up on chats here. Okay, let's get back to this one. So, can we? I'm trying to figure out I definitely know, I think, how to solve it, but I'm trying to figure out how the duplication part, like, how can I make it so I don't check duplicate checks? If I come across this, if it's in a scene value, check if there's a key associated with it. If it is, no, so the thing is let's say you have another like 12 over here, right? So let's say you have another 12, or let's say you have right? Yeah. So this would obviously be a valid pair. This 12 with the made up 12 at the end would be a valid pair. And then this 12 with that made up 12 would be a valid pair. But there's no duplication going on. Like, these indices are unique in that I'm not ever going to find the same pair. Like, if I go here, I take this 12, I find a pair here. Oh, I don't find any other pair. I go to this 12. I find a pair. No, I don't find a pair. I go to this 30. No pair. So right, if we take, now the 24 does have a pair, but I'm still going to have to, I'm still in this mindset of like, I check the 12, I hit this 12, I have to check the 30, check the 24, I check the 24. Now I hit here, I've already seen these values. Difference between the two. 0, I'll do the same number. Oh, okay. Hold on. So if you take the difference between your I and j values and you get 0, they're the same number. So you know that if you find a pair for this value with any future value, this one is also a pair for any future value. That happens to make the same pair as the previous one, right? But the thing I'm having struggle is with that second loop is, how can I just do it once? If I come over the 12, I come over the 12, right? Okay, I move on to this 12. I don't want to have to go back over these numbers again. I've already done it once. Can I just go through one time? Why is this so tricky? So what if we saw the constraints are pretty small in that the length is only 100 long. So what if we tried it like recursively with memoization? Would we even need to do that? If we hit this 12 and I find a pair, am I trolling you guys? Okay, think about it. Let me grab a piece of paper. Pepsi break. Okay. Let's think. Pen anywhere? Just a pencil. Okay, so if I come across at 12, 30, 24, 24. Okay, so I hit the 12. For I, and then j is 1 greater, okay? So what if I form an array of differences where that is going to be 0, that's going to be 17, that's going to be 6, that's going to be 0. Right? No, I'm not sure how that would help us. I definitely think a double for loop Dopamaniac would work. I wish you luck, Tim. You got this. A double for loop definitely would work. I'm trying to figure out how we could solve it linearly, right? We could easily just do a double for loop and check 12 against all of these values, check this 12 against all of these values, check this 30 against all of these values, check this 24 against this value, and then we're done. So you only have to loop. So I take the 12, I'm on 12. My j is also 12. The difference at this point, at the first point, diff equals to 0 between the two values, right? On the first pass. Oh, hold on. Okay, so what if we come across, we hit the 12 initially. So what if we hit the 12, and then in a dictionary we save the 12 with, as the key, and then as a value, for index. Man, come on, Mike. Okay, let's hit this. They just want us to brute force in the hint. I don't want to brute force. Okay. So if I come across the 12, I don't have any view of any other values in front of me, but potentially an additional pointer to the right, or to the one in front of me. Okay, so I know that the one in front of me is also a 12. Now I sum them together, I get 24. Modulo 24 equals to 0. Okay, this is a valid pair. 0, 1. Now I save 12 in scene. Thanks for the quest. All right, thanks for the follows, Tommy. You are that guy. You're that guy, pal. I like that. So let me turn up this actually. Let me turn down so we can hear the alerts. Okay. So if we hit the 12, I can all the indices that do make a valid pairs. If I have a dictionary, did that work? So if I have a dictionary of valid pairs, so 12. So if we say the key is the value, and then we say the value as all of the set of indices. No, because then we'd have to loop over all the indices to identify So what if we come across 12 and we come across another 12, we make a valid pair. Okay. So we've seen 12 and we save the indice as the value. Be a tuple of 12, 12. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. Wait, isn't the value add for one value always a unique modulus of 24? All values that add to 12 to form a multiple of 24 isn't the value you add for one value always a unique modulus of 24? No, the modulo takes place after the summation to determine if that is divisible by 24 to determine if it's a valid day. Summation, basically. So the 12 plus 12 would give you 24. Divided by 24 gives you a remainder of 0. Modulo 24, remainder of 0, boom. These ones could give you a remainder of zeros as well. This one would give you a remainder of 2, right? So it would be 48. Or it would be a remainder of 0, I'm sorry, right? For that pairing. Now this would give you 36, which you would have a remainder of 12. So that's not true. So how can we do this linearly? Is it... a difference. So 0, okay. If any other value. So what if we modulo the number by itself, right? By 24. That'll give you a remainder. Well, no, that'll give you a remainder of 12 back. No, it'll give you a remainder of 12 mod 24. 12. 24. Mod 12. 0. 12. Can't go into 20. Goes into a 20. There's no remainder. Yeah, so what if we take, so if you modulo 24 by 12, that gives you 0. Right? So if it's less than 24, yeah. So if you modulo 12 by 24, that would give you 12 back, which is right where we are. Now if that is in, oh, if seen, no, for I range, oh, hold on, n is equal to the length hours, right? And we say for I in the range, oh my gosh, type Mike, of n minus 1, right? J is equal to I plus 1 here. So what if we just modulo on this, on the value? So if we say, okay, seen is equal to an empty set right now, right? Okay, in the first pass we do 12 mod 24, right? Which would give you 12 back, so we put that into seen modulos. Okay, if we get a value of 12, if 12 is in seen, so if 12 is in seen, 12 is in seen, if 12 is in seen, what would that tell us? That any other future 12 sum it to the seen modulo of the same index. No, because that would still be O of n squared. Oh, shoot, man. Tim's cooked. Me too, man. Please, no spoilers, you guys. Completely defeats the purpose of trying this. I would have, if I wanted to know the answer, I would have just looked it up. I'm fine with kind of discussing ideas, but if you're just typing out this is how, then something's wrong. I gotta mod Tim or something so you can delete those chats for me. So people don't get spoiled. They're trying to solve it. So I'm trying to figure out the memoization portion of it. I'm not that great at that. So if we come across I at the initial 12 value, right? Okay. Now I add I wouldn't want to put the tuple 12 and 12 in a set, right? Because what does that tell us? Like, okay, we just wouldn't have to do what? The constant operation of summing them and then checking if it modulos 24. That's all that would avoid. It wouldn't tell us the said indices of those values. So we obviously need to save the indices as well. So instead of a set, let's try to use a dictionary. Right, let's try to use a dictionary here. I'm writing on paper here down below here. I have the whiteboard, but honestly, I like writing on paper. I have the dictionary, so if I have a dictionary, what would I want to save as the key? Would I want to map the index I? Would I want to map the tuple of a valid pair? Would I want to map... No, I definitely don't want to map the tuple of valid pairs of the actual values themselves, like 12 and 12, because we want to allow for duplicate value pairs, but not duplicate indices. Now, we're never going to come across a duplicate indice, as I will always lag behind J. So I will never be repeated once J moves forward. So then in the dictionary, we'd probably want to set the index, maybe index as key, and then as the value. So would it be the index of the individual? Would it be the index of the first 12, or the map to the actual 0, 1 tuple for the valid pair? If it's the 0, 1 tuple for the valid pair, we would set its key. That would be its key. Now, what would we use as a value? Okay, so if you set just 0 index as the key, and then a list of all the valid indices that fall, so it would be 0 and 1, or a set of all the tuples of 0 and 1. Man, I'm really struggling for the linear aspects of this and the data structure to use. Definitely making a little bit of progress. Trying to follow up the hash table here, Mary. I like that too. So instead of taking if we take the 12, so we set 0. So if we find the ratio of the current value against 24, right? So 12 divided by 24 is a half, right? That's the ratio. It's 50% of a valid day, right? So if it's 50% of a valid day, we have to just find any other value that also would be 50% of another day going forward. But I wouldn't want to have to loop through all of my I feel like that's the same number of operations, no? Whether I have a data structure with the ratio of the value to the amount of days to a valid day, I would still have to loop over all of those ratio values per valid day. Gosh dang, man. Okay, it's okay, Mike. It's okay, it's okay. Okay, so if we're on the first 12, what kind of operation can I perform to this 12 that would benefit me in the future had I need to look up something to understand if this is a valid day or not? I feel like if I save it though, like I would have to loop over all of the previous calculations again, thus creating another nested N operation per N operation. Or maybe that would actually be right, because if I come across the 12, oh my gosh, dude, I don't. What could we store? We're struggling, y'all. The struggle's real over here. We struggling. So is there a property, like what if every day was a valid day? right? So what if you had X, Y, Z? So valid pairs would be X, Y, X, Z, Y, Z, and that's it. So 3 valid pairs. So if I increase this to 4, like A, B, C, D, now how about 5? 4 would be 8 pairs. 5 would be no. 4 would be 5 pairs. So if you have A, B, C, D, right, you can make AB, AC, AD, BC, BD, C, D. Wait. Six pairs. So then if we do A, B, C, D, E, you can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 pairs. So does it just go up by 3 pairs each time? So I think we do a math operation if we find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 pairs. For 6. Huh. Interesting. So if you have 3 numbers, you can make 3 pairs. If you have 4 numbers, you can make 6 pairs. If you have 5, you can make 9 pairs. If you have 6, you can make 15 pairs. Right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 13. Wait, what's going on, Mike? Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, you can make A, B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So how is this, what relationship does this have? So you have to have 3, 6 on one side. You have 5 goes to 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Well, it might be 10. Oh my gosh.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me.
Hey, thank
You're
you
not
so
that
much.
guy.
I appreciate the sub.
Absolutely.
Billacure, Mr. Billacure. I like that. So in, okay, let me just get it in ABC, you can make A, B, A, C, and then B, C, right? Those are, so keeping the indices short from one another, or one prior, like, right, the left has to be shorter. Then in A, B, C, D, you can make A, B, A, C, A, D, B, C, B, D, C, D. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In A, B, C, D, E, you can make A, B, A, C, A, D, B, C, B, D, C, D, C, E, D, E. 8 pairs. Okay, so if you add a value in length under this type of indexing rule, you can increase the amount of total pairs that can be made is 8. It goes up by 2. No. No. Because it goes 3 to 6 and then to 8. Might be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am I trolling? A, B, A, C, A, D. Yeah, I'm missing some. A, D, A, E. B, C, B, D, B, E, C, D, C, E. It would be 9. So every value you add on, you add 3 additional pairs. So then if we do A, B, E, F, I would add a pair for A for F, B for F, a C for F, so 1, 2, 3, D for F, then E and an F. It should be 10. B, A, C, A, D, A, E, B, C, B, D, B, E, C, D, C, E. Yes. So you go up by the previous length. That's the relation. Okay, so you go up, you increase the total amount of pairs by the previous length of the previous array. Right? Now, if that has anything to do with this, I'm not sure. Let's refocus here. So, like if I have A, B, C in my array, I can make 3 combinations using this indexing rule. If I increase by 1 value, the D can then be attached to each of the 3 previous values, A, B, C, so we go up from 3 to 6, go up by the previous length. So 6 plus 4 would go to 10. 10 plus 5 would go to 15 for the next guy. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. So this would be A, B, A, C, A, D, A, E, A, F, B, C. B, F, C, D, C, E, F, D, F, 15. What? I'm so trolling. So the 1, 2, make 5 pairs. You can make 1, 2, 4 pairs. So you can make 1, 2, 3 pairs. D can make 2 pairs. You can make 1 pair. Okay. Let's see if we can try to solve this. I don't know. Tim resigns. That sounds tricky, huh? So equal to 1. But if it would equal to 1, what could that give me? So in total you can make length of previous array new values, right? Because that new character is going to be paired with each previous character potentially. So then what would that tell us? Is if we have maximum of that. What would that tell us? Count complete day pairs. Given an integer array hours representing time in hours, return an integer denoting the number of pairs. So then if we have this, so in this array, you can make a total of 6, 4, 7, 9, so you count the last one and you don't in an odd. You add 1 if it's odd. No, you add 1 if it's even. No. Oh my gosh. Well, this is kind of a fail. Shoot. I don't want to look it up. I want to figure it out. So if that makes a valid day, 12 divided by 0.5. Hey Prism. I don't think it's that simple, Prism. We could easily just do a double for loop, but we're trying to solve it linearly here, if possible. It might be that easy, but so if you save, if you divide the value by 24, total 12 will give you 6, 0, 0. So obviously those would work together. If you get the remainder, it'll give us 12. Okay. But I would want to check. Now in the examples, you notice it does do a skip here. So. Later, Tim. Were you able to solve it, Tim? Without the O of n squared? So if you modulo the 12 by 24, that'll give you 12 back. What does that tell us? That any other array, any other values, So let's create a map. What if we create a map? So if you have map is equal to a dictionary, and what we'll do is we'll put 12 modulo 24, which is going to be 12 as a key, and then the index is going to be 0. And what if we say another there's 12 in map? That'll make it so you have to get it. But that would, no, we wouldn't want to say if 12 in map, because then it would get like any other duplicate. Like if 30 in map, if 40 in map, 30 would be in map. 12 modulo, which would be 0, which would be 12. So let's just put all the modulos. So if it, all the modulos of each number would be 12, 12, 6, 0, and 0. Right? For key 0, key 1, or index 2, 3, index 4. Right, so if that's our map, 12, 0, 12, 1, 6, 2, 0, 0. If we say, okay, if that value in map, it's a valid day. If you come across a 0 though, you need to map it to all previous values, right? I think I may have solved it. I'm not sure here. So if we say map, we say that h is equal to, or we'll say that maps is equal to a dictionary, and we're going to say for hour in hours, right? We're going to say rem equals to the hour modulo by 24, right? We're going to go, yeah. We'll say maps.get. We'll say if rem in maps. So if the rem is in maps, then we're going to say maps.get rem. Right, we'll get the value, which will be index. So I guess I can say index equals to, or we'll say left pair, right, because it'd be previously in there. Left pair equals to map.get maps.get rem else none. If left pair is none, but if left pair is none, then we are just going to add the value in. So hold on. So if rem is 0, you would check, but then you would also map it to all No, 'cause how could you do like what if it was like 23 days in 23 hours in 1 hour? Well, you would do, okay, 1 hour left over. If you have a 24 out of there, you'd get its index. You can't map the 12s together though. Oh, crap. Okay, so if it's in there, oh no. Hey, Onik, how's it going? Hey, Abenob, how's it going? So, I can't map the 12s back to back. Well, if it's in there, I'll get it. Do I have a list of keys? Would my value be a list of all of the mappings with that? 0 and 1. So you would map things to themselves. These would add up to 24 here. So if it's, oh no, the only valid pair is 3 and 4 and 1 and 0. 3 and 4. So you map the zeros together and you map the like numbers together. So do you just map all like numbers together? Just like numbers together? So then let's try it on example 2 here. On example 2, our map, I guess we can write it here. Right. Oh my gosh. Our map would be 0. Obviously another 0. But you obviously can't have duplicate keys, so you would have to another 0 and then a 3. So you would obviously map all of these this would go with that one, this one would go with this one, this one would go with this one. So how could we do it like logically? What does this tell us? That, okay, it just tells us that a duplicate of the same number was previously done. No, so if you have a 0 here, this just means that the indice that represents this equates the map indice, right? Which also equates to these 1 of 1 indice wise, like the same length, has no remainder when divided into by 24 or into 24, yeah, right? And if it has no remainder, it can be added with something else that has no remainder. to make a full day. So the thing is we would need to find all previous zeros. Okay, so we would come across, let's go down here. So in the example 2, 72, 48, 24, and 3, right? We would come up to the 72, we would mod 24, across, right? All of these. That would give us 0. Okay, we would check if it's in there. No. Okay, let's add it in. And then we would come across this one. Okay, so we'd have to loop through. The thing is if we come across this guy and do the mod 0, okay, now we need to pair it to all previous zeros. Well, maybe what I do is I go backwards. So this would also give me a 0, and this would give me a 3. So maybe then I iterate backwards. I pick up this guy. Oh, he would be paired with this guy, who would also be paired with this guy. This guy would be paired with this guy. Oh, I think is that it? Is that it? If we go backwards, can we easily do it so we don't have to go, we can just say, okay, this guy pairs here. No, because then we'd have to go back and this guy pair. Okay, now go there. And that would still loop in the same fashion. So if 0, map to all previous indices. If we go backwards, it'd be 3. If we go backwards, it'd be 3 first. Okay, no. 0, okay. So then go backwards, you'd be 0. And you would move forward to the 48, and you get 0. Okay, oh, that's in there. Get the index. Pair it. I don't have to loop the overall value. See, the thing is I would need to save this index dang it. Okay, so let's say we do this operation. 72 mod 24 is 0. So this makes up a whole day as it is. So if paired with any other 0 in the future, so what if we create create the array and then go through and fill in tuples as we find them. So if you find one, let's say we put, so if we say, okay, let's just make an array of pre-built tuples. Oh, we found a 0 for a valid day. Let's put this index as the first index for all of those tuples. But we came across another one. Let's go ahead and replace the first one. And then let's put So the thing is, they can't map duplicate values. So would it have to go by index as the key, and then the value? I'm stumped, you guys. I know when I do not want to look it up. It's going to piss me off. And I refuse. So this makes a day. Now if I come across the 48 and I say, okay, this is also 0, I would have to loop back over the previous and pair it. Oh, this makes a 0. Go back and pair. Oh, this made a 3. So if in the worst case would be if every value would be over, and then so we go through. Yeah, dude, I'm stumped. Come on, I'm pissed. So why? I don't even know. Anyone else getting stumped on this one? We didn't get very far. Oh, what an L. What an L. the frequency would go up. So if we map instead, okay, this goes up to 641. It's going to tell us anything about indices. Oh no, we reduced the count. Oh, we have one more coming up. Oh, we have one more 0 coming up. If we compare it. Those would be, if you both of those. Compare anything that has duplicates together. And any key multiplied by the frequency. So he had 6, like, no. 12 times 2. Give you 24. So if it's 12, yeah, you can only have 12. You have to have 2 of them as your minimum case, right? So, like, because it's 24 divided by 2, which is 12. And you have 2 indices, so you have the minimum value you can have for one indice is 12. Well, no, you could have like 25, 23 in 1. That would make 24 hours. Right? But if that's the case, you would need to I feel like there has to be another loop to then go over the results. I'm cooked. Dang it, what an L stream. We've been sitting here for an hour and 15 minutes and haven't gotten anything done. What a troll. What a troll. I've been sitting here for an hour and 50 minutes and I haven't even gotten like one actual working line of code down here. Like it's just ideas that keep running into dead ends here. So obviously we have to use some sort of memoization map and modulo and some sort of combination. Now figuring out that combination is the tricky part. So if you modulo every number in the array, every hour in the hours list by 24 and map that value you map that value into it, and okay, so into the map. Okay, so on the first pass, 12 modulo 24 is 12. That gets put into the map. And we save its list of indices. Account with a list of indices. So I map is the value with a list of counts. With a list of the indices, sorry. So we would say for hour and enumerate for I, n is equal to the length of hours. See, for I in range, hours of n, sorry, we're going to say remainder equals to hours index of I mod 24. We're going to then say maps rem maps dot get rem, get the list. Okay, so we'll say if rem in maps, then we're going to go ahead and say rem maps, we'll say valid equals to a list. You say if rem in maps if the remainder is in maps, then we're going to go into go into maps remainder, and we're going to get this for index for previous index in maps remainder, right, which will be a list. We're going to valid dot append a tuple of previous index and I. Okay. Now, else, if and then we're going to continue the loop from here. Now, else, if remainder is not in maps, then we're going to maps index remainder is equal to an empty list. So this will loop through. Oh, no worries, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you later. Appreciate you so much for stopping in tonight. You're awesome. Is that ambivalent bunny? Did you change your name to Bunny Bites on Twitch? Ambivalent? I can never pronounce. Ambivalent? Welcome. Thanks so much for coming in. It's good to see you again. Trying to solve this LeetCode here. So, okay, the 12 goes in. The 12 goes in. Right, we access here. We get 12 as the remainder. 12 is not in maps. So we add it to maps with the blank list and we put the I inside. And then what we're going to do is go rem maps key of rem dot append we're going to append into the maps the current value of I. So this is going to loop over and take a modulo of each value in the list of hours. If that remainder is in maps, that means that we have found either a 0 or a 12 that satisfies this condition, right? Well, because what if you have like a 23 and a 1? Don't think I'm doing this right. Because like what if you have a 23 and a 1? Well, that's going to give you 23 and 1 inside of maps. So what if you take the min of a tuple of, inside of a tuple, you have a min of another tuple of either so the thing is, this is not going to work for, we would have to loop back over our maps and identify any keys that would add it to 24. All right, you guys, I'm gonna call it here at 9:30. I wasn't able to solve this one, unfortunately. Sucks. This easy tag is just taunting me. Dang it, dude. Honestly, I don't even think I'm close. Just ran in circles this stream. This is why I kind of struggle like doing the LeetCode on stream, because I feel like we could get so much more done in the 2 hours that we're streaming. Like we could have gotten a lot of reading done or like a lot of work on the project, but instead we kind of just like I know there's value in like this kind of thought process, going through this kind of thought processing, but like the value opportunities of other things we could have gotten done that we're more skilled in, I don't know. That's why I'm a little bit torn on the LeetCode, and I don't really like doing that whole like, oh, after 15 minutes, if you can't solve it, go look up the answer and look up like and learn from it, like, or whatever, because like I get learning from a solution, but I'm probably like, I can just feel that being like an easy bottleneck or like a scapegoat, right? Like, oh, time's out, let me just go look it out, and then next thing you know, I'm looking it up every single one. I don't know. Hey, how's it going, Harsh? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we were not able to solve this guy today. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna bounce. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are awesome. I feel kind of bad that we kind of blew 2 hours just thinking about this problem. That can be a very entertaining stream, honestly. So, my bad, you guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.